Hello everybody. I'm giving you a look at the next book that I'm going to be reading to you. Roald Dahl's BFG is the novel that I'd like to read to you using video recordings. And this will be our part of our language each day, and it will be something that we'll be able to study some different story elements with. So we will listen to just a little bit today to get us going, because I know we have a few other things going in language still with our miraculous journey of Edward Tulane. But I just wanted to give you a little bit of an intro to our book. So here we go. I'm going to read just a bit of this to you, but I do want you to see some of the great artwork of this illustrator. Quentin Blake illustrated for Roald Dahl for this one. So if anyone has ever heard of BFG, stands for Big Friendly Giant. So looking at the picture, you could probably guess, here's your giant, here's the little person. So I will read just a little bit of it for you today, and we have a few other things that I need to intro today, so it'll just be a teaser. Starts out, My Big Friendly Giant by Lucy Dahl. When I was a child, every night at bedtime my father would pace back and forth in the little tiny bedroom I shared with my older sister Ophelia, and tell us wonderful stories of the BFG. We would sit up in bed mesmerized by the tales of our BFG as we sipped on our witch's potions, which my father always gave us to drink during our story, as he called it. The witch's potion was a delicious concoction that my father made us every evening at bedtime. A combination of canned peaches or pears, milk, and a few drops of either red, green, or blue food coloring, whizzed up in a blender to make a homemade milkshake type drink. The witches dropped it off at the doorstep 5 minutes ago, my father would tell us with convincing authority, the same way he told us about our BFG who lived in a cave under the apple trees of our orchard right next to our house. Everything was magical, even the witch balls that hung on clear fish twine at different lengths and heights from our bedroom ceiling. Witch balls are beautiful antique fragile balls of all different colors. My father told us that they were to keep the bad witches away. One look at her reflection in the witch ball and she'll be scared to death and disappear faster than she arrived. We were safe. We had so many mystical things around us. The witches, good ones, the BFG, fantastic Mr. Fox who lived under the witch tree, a spectacular beech tree which had grown from 3 small trees into one massive climbing tree that stood gracefully halfway up the little country lane where we lived in a rambling farmhouse called Gypsy House. The stories were always a surprise. Some nights it was the BFG, sometimes it was fantastic Mr. Fox. Sometimes my father told us stories about when he was our age and all the naughty things he and his friends got up to at school. Stories he put together later in a book called Boy. But what never changed was our evening ritual. After our story, which was never read, always told, was over, my father would take our empty witch's potion glasses, then always ensure that our little window was cracked open the tiniest bit. He did this to make sure that later the BFG could get his stick through to blow dreams into our room. Then my father kissed us good night, tucked us in snugly, and turned out our light. Then we waited. The wait was never long. Usually within about 5 minutes, a long bamboo stick slowly poked its way through the middle of our curtains. First the stick would aim at Ophelia's bed. It stopped steadily for a moment, then We would hear two terrifically loud blows, rather like the sound a great big whale makes when it blows through its spout. Then very slowly and carefully the bamboo stick would turn towards me. The thrill was exhilarating. What could be my dream tonight? Two huge blows were exhaled in my direction, and then the long bamboo would slowly retract back through the curtains. And within seconds we went to sleep. We couldn't wait to go to sleep and dream our special dreams that the BFG had made for us that day from his cave under the apple trees of our orchard. One evening Ophelia asked my father, "How do we know that you are not making up the BFG?" "Making him up?" my father said with horror. "Why can't we go to the window and see him?" I asked. That's where we'll end today, guys and ladies. Stay tuned for installment number 2 tomorrow.